Hi, welcome to another art lesson. Today we're going to use some watercolor pencils and some metallic markers to make an interesting design. So we're going to start by choosing two complementary colors on our color wheel. So let's have a look at our color wheel to begin with. Choose yourself two colors that are opposite. They're called complementary colors on our color wheel. Let's see. I think I'm going to go a pinky sort of color and a green. That's my pinky sort of color. And my green. So pink and my green color. Okay. Let's start by drawing some shapes. So just some random shapes coming off the page. We're not overlapping at this stage. We'll overlap with some metallic markers in a moment. Okay, let me just draw another shape. Maybe have a circle here. Try and get some different sort of roundish sort of shapes happening. Maybe another circle down here. And maybe a little shape there. Okay, now I'm just going to colour in two of the shapes with my watercolour markers and use some water on them. I would suggest that what you do is that you do the whole design first, and then you can watercolour it at the end. But I'm going to just show you what it's going to look like. So let me start with, I'm going to start with my small shape down here. What we're going to do is just, remember with watercolour pencils, you don't have to colour the whole shape. Probably shade in half of it. It doesn't have to be all over the shape. And let's do my green one in the corner as well. You want it fairly heavy around the edge. And then just a bit of colour that you can spread around with the water. I've got rough watercolour paper. You might have smooth. They'll do different effects. Okay, so I've done my first lot of colour. So let's don't want too much water, but we're going to move that water and that colour around the shape to fill it in. Okay, clean your brush really well before you do the next one. Now the idea with it is to see if you can get it to go graded. So we've got it darker one side of the shape. You might need to rough up some of the edges, press a little bit harder with your brush to activate the colour. You can of course do this with watercolour paints as well, but today I thought we'd try using some pencils. Okay, next step is just to go around and do the same for your other shapes. So decide which side of your shape is going to be the darker side. And which side is going to be your lighter side. So you might just put a little bit of colour in the middle just to spread it around. Let's do this one. I'll go for the other side of this one. To this side. Watercolour pencils are good because you don't have to really think too much about how you're colouring in, because you're going to move it around with the water. So it's a nice fun way to fill up a space quickly. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of colour in the middle just to spread that around a bit. Okay, this side I'm going to do darker one down here. choose a different spot on each one to do darker. It doesn't have to be the same each time. If you go outside the lines, doesn't matter. You can always fix up your shape. Just draw it. You're not going to see it when it's done anyway. And my last rounded shape. Come around this side. Of course, you could do this in lots of different colours if you wanted to, but it's nice to practice our complementary colours as well. Okay, let me start on my greens now. Let me go to this side for green. Don't forget on our little Club Koala page that there are booklets, some drawing booklets, some creative writing booklets for you to download if you need something to do in the holidays, or if you've got no homework to do after school, maybe you want to do some drawing activities. Okay, so let me do my other green ones. And my last green one, just going to need to sharpen the pencil. Okay, so let's sharpen that one up so I can get some more green happening. Okay, let's go for this side. This one's quite a big shape, so you probably need to do a bit more colour on it so that you get the effect. Okay, so I'm just doing it like that. And now we're up to the fun bit of adding our water. So what I'd suggest you do is that you do one colour at a time. That way you don't have to keep cleaning your brush all the time. If your water's getting too dirty, you might need to you do the next lot. So maybe 2 water jars might be useful as well. If you do it carefully, you might be able to actually kind of disappear that line on the edge as well. Okay? Up to you for whatever effect you want, but work where the darkest point of your shape is first, before you move on to the lighter areas. That way you can really spread the paint and get some grading effects, some shading happening. I've gone out of my lines, but that's okay. Got too much colour, just wipe it off and then just get some more water if it's going too dark, if you're not getting the shading effect. Okay, so you might want to just keep a check on what your brush is doing, if it's picking up too much of the colour. So here, for instance, I don't want the rest of the circle to be that colour. I want it to be lighter, so I'm going to clean my brush. Just touch it on the cloth just to dry it just a tiny bit. And then I can just spread it with the water. Instead of making all that colour, then I can rough up the colour that's in the middle there. Because mine's rough paper, you're still going to see the texture. You can always go back and fix up the colours if you want to add a bit more water to them. This one up here, I didn't quite rough up the colours enough. go back and do this one again. There we go. Okay, clean your brush, and then you can start on your green ones or your other colour. So thinking about our complementary colours complement means they go together, they look nice together. That's always good to practice looking at those and doing our designs with them. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush off and just use water to do the next part. And then blend it in. And the next one. Okay, so if you sort of stipple with your brush, if you can't get the colours not coming off the page, it's staying there like pencil lines, just use a stipple sort of effect like that, and that's going to activate the pencil to come off the paper a little bit. Now I'm using watercolour paper. You can use ordinary paper, but remember it's going to get a little bit watery and the paper might crinkle up a bit. So if you have some watercolour paper, or some thick art paper, that's going to be best for this activity. Okay, so there's my watercolors finished. Once you've finished, you might decide you've got a bit of a gap. Maybe you want to put something in. I think I've decided I've got a little bit of a gap here. Haven't got any green circles. I might pop a little green circle in the middle. So you can go back and add in any little shapes. And I can watercolor that one. And that just fills up that little space that I had there. Okay, we need to let that dry. So I'll see you in a moment when my picture has dried. Okay, we're back. My paper is dry. And I've chosen 2 of my metallic pens. You can use any markers for this, but I think my metallic ones might look nice. Mine have got double nibs, my Mod Mart ones. They've got a wider nib on that side and a smaller one on this side. So I can do all sorts of things. So I'm going to start by using the smaller side. I've decided to go with pink and green to sort of tie in with my pictures, but you can do whatever you like. So, because they're organic shapes, I thought we'd do organic things. So I thought we might do some flowers and leaves. If you want to do other shapes, you can. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to do some shapes over the top. Okay, they're not going to sit on. So you might like to do some shapes like mine, or you might want to make up your own designs. I have a little flower down this end. Let's swap to my green. I'm going to do a leaf shape. Down here, a leaf shape down here. And let's get some other things happening. Let's maybe do some dots going around this shape. If you kind of do one sort of section at a time, there's a couple of leaves on this side. Kind of like those ones, and let's do some more dots on this one as well. Remember, groups of 3 or 5. Always make it look interesting. Okay, I'm going to have a great big leaf stem that comes out here. Remember, it's to overlap your shapes. Shapes are just in our background. Let's do these leaves a bit differently. This time they're just going to have more leaf shapes in the middle. Another one over here. And you might put a dot in the center. Maybe a couple of dots might look better. That looks better. Okay, so my organic design is coming along quite nicely. Okay, the idea is to repeat some of those patterns. So I'm going to turn down this end. I quite like the leaf shapes. So I'm going to draw another leaf shape here. This time I'm just going to draw ones where the leaves are opposite each other. And I'm going to get back to my dots again. Okay, looking good so far. I think I need another leaf coming somewhere. So think about where you're going to put your designs. I'm going to have another leaf that comes in this side, I think. This time I'm going to make them a little bit different. I'm going to make them round with a line in, round. Don't forget to keep turning your page when you need to. Looking good so far. A few more green dots on that side. Maybe some down here. Groups of 3. Swap colours and let's do some pink dots. Okay, I'm going to do these pink dots inside my green shape, just following the shape. And this one I'm going to do my pink dots on the outside of the shape. Just on one side of it. Almost finished. This one looks like a little bit of a ghost in the middle. Let's see what we can do to change that so it doesn't look quite so ghosty. Maybe we could have another flower coming down this way. I'll put a flower coming this way. Nice simple little flower design. Doesn't have to be too fancy. Maybe there's a bud on this, couple of buds on this side as well. And let's join them up with a stem. Make the stem go this way. And one down here. A couple of leaves on it. Good chance to practice. Okay, so there's my finished design. Don't add too much. And don't forget to sign your work down the bottom. Great work. Don't forget, you can always do this activity with crayons and markers as well. So you might like to do it on a black piece of paper using some crayons. I don't have any crayons with me, but you might crayon a colour. Okay, so you could use black paper with crayons and some lighter coloured markers. Okay, do that as well. Black paper always looks interesting. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye.